episode 29 of making a survival game in Godot, and last time we added this huge ass terrain that we can work with. Phew, 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 phew. And today we're gonna finally be adding some trees, some rocks, some bushes, whatever nature needs. Now that may sound good, but the bad part is I have to import my low world nature kit to Godot, which is gonna take a while because we have almost 100 meshes. But it should look pretty good once we do that. You can get this for yourself on itch.io, CGI Trader, Sketchfab, wherever you want. Okay, let's get to work. It's been about 2 hours. Just pretend that there was a time lapse that you wanted to watch, but there wasn't. And finally, we can import probably the last package that I have pre-made. And we should have them now. Low World Forest Nature Kit, which is going to take a while to import. And there we go. Now we've got our branches, bushes, flowers, grass, mushrooms, rocks, stumps, terrain, and trees. Terrain, I don't think I'll be using it, but it's still here. Let's see how the trees look. Let's get some pine trees. I'm not sure if these are pine or not. Maybe they're spruce. And there we go. We've got a tree. Now, I will have to play with the materials. I'm not sure I like the foliage one, but thankfully, it's all pretty easily changeable. For example, if I want to change the foliage color, you just go here, albedo, and then play around with the values. We can have red trees, pink, whatever. Now we just need a way of scattering this across the terrain. And from what I was able to see, the terrain that we have doesn't really have an option to scatter trees. It does have grass paint, but I doubt we'll be using that. So what I'm going to do is look for an asset that might do this. And I've heard of a great one called Scatter by Hungry Proton. And it seems to do everything that I need. You can even have negative shapes for the scattering. You can place round edges randomly aligned on a grid. So that's great. This is what we want. Should be pretty simple to install. And in our add-ons folder, we should now have Proton Scatter. Yeah, we do. And could we enable it? In the plugins, Proton Scatter. Nice. Okay, seems like we need a Proton Scatter first. Yeah, that's the one. And now we'll scatter items. Okay, and it sets up everything else for me. So I'll give it now some rocks. And it scatters them around. Cool. Scatter shape. Cool. We can change the size of it. We can change the amount. So let's just set that to 10 maybe. Alright, for this I want to focus on kind of the starting area, which is over there. So I might just move everything there. And for that we'll just have to smooth out the terrain a bit over here. Okay, let's play around with the shape, maybe make it bigger. And if we give it some trees, you can see it scatters them around. That's pretty cool. Now, it's not correct, as you can see. Some of the trees are floating around. It seems that it's not projecting onto the collider. Okay, so if I increase the ray length to maybe 50. Okay, now it's correct. Let's set that to 100. And now we've got some trees. That's pretty fucking cool if you ask me. That is super simple. I was expecting something much worse. What if we take this to another level? Let's save this, because I have a feeling this is going to crash any moment now. We're going to increase the shape to maybe 1000 by 1000. Something like this. And what happens if I increase this to maybe 750? That's still too little. Let's do 2000. Okay. But we can increase the amount of items that we have. So if I duplicate this item and give it maybe a different tree, pine 2, and let's give it also pine 3. So now we have a bunch of random trees. Cool. Let's increase this to maybe 5000. Oh, that's something. Now we're talking. Where's my player? I want to see this in game. Oh yeah, that's more like it. Obviously the terrain color doesn't match. Oh my god, this feels so good. Finally seeing something of this game. Jesus Christ, this is cool. And like the performance, I mean, it's quite good. Oh my god, this is so cool. The performance is great. I mean, I'm doing this on a... One sec. I'm doing this on a graphics card from 2015. Okay? So that's 8 years ago. And I'm recording in the same time. Like, the performance is majestic. Holy shit, this is amazing. Damn, this is amazing. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do before I do the rest is I wanna get some kind of a color on the terrain that matches it. So I just quickly went into Blender and made a couple of textures. As you can see, we've got the dirt, we've got grass, and we've got rock. Only albedo for now, but normals would be pretty easy to make in this case. Let's try and plug them into our terrain, which I'm not sure how to do. There is a texture paint. Import textures. Let's add a new one. This would be, well, texture 0 seems like it. And we can give it our grass. Can I rename this? No, I can't. 512 resolution, indeed. Let's add another one, which would be our dirt. And then we can add another one, which would be a rock. Oh, they have to be images, not textures. Alright, I re-imported them. Now we should be able to import them as textures once more. So we should be able to just paint this. It seems like it failed for some reason. Oh, that's just great. I couldn't figure out what the hell the problem was. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna fix this. It's just giving me these assertion failed, but I'm not sure what it means. So for now, we're just gonna stick to color, and what we're gonna do is just give it the same color that the material uses, which doesn't translate well at all to the... I'm just gonna paint it like this for now, and then we'll see what the hell happens later. And whenever doing this, you can define the proportion of these trees. So if I set the other ones to 50, or the birch trees to 50, because I mostly want them to be pine trees or spruce trees. And if I increase the counter to maybe like 7,500, that looks a bit better now. And now we've got a variety of trees. I do have oak trees, but I'm not sure if I want to add them yet. Fuck it, let's set this to 10K. So we have a bunch of them. And we're actually going to go to the shape and just set this to like 800 by 800. And maybe this to 150. Oh yeah, that's more like it. What I can do now is maybe place some small rocks around the valley. I'm still amazed at how well this is performing for some reason, because this is a lot of stuff here. Once again, it's the next day, and yesterday I just been playing around with the foliage, and as you can see, I did find a custom shader for the trees and the grass, which now has some wind to it. It's kind of hard to see, but the trees are moving, and the grass too. I'm not sure I like how it looks though, especially in the distance, but up front it kind of looks okay. Now I've also been looking around for the textures and why couldn't I paint them, and I realized I'm just stupid. I'm using the low poly one, and I should be using classic 4 because low poly doesn't support textures. So if I change this to classic 4, it doesn't look as good anymore, or it doesn't have the low poly look, but I'm kind of okay with that as long as I can paint textures. So I should be able to paint the textures now if I import them. So dirt, grass, and rock. Hopefully this will do. Okay, that did work. Yeah, as you can see. Although the textures are a bit fucked. This might be a stupid thing to do, but I wanna remake the terrain to see if it's maybe that. Without the color map, just white terrain. So, wish me luck, I'm gonna save this. And we're only gonna give it the height this time. And it's lagging again because it has to generate the fields. Or generate the global whatever. But what if I go here and import the textures? Okay, now it looks normal. Cool. No, it doesn't. It still has a bit of a edge. But the colors are fine. So that's good. Let's wait for it to generate. And 3 hours later, it's generated. Now it's got to smooth out, which is going to generate again. Okay, if I paint some grass now into the smoothed part, nothing seems to happen. I still can't figure out why this is happening. Oh, that's my bad. Seems like the texture does have a small thingy here. So I'll have to fix that. Yeah, now it's cool. And it kinda... It looks good, I think. It's just way too big. So we'll go for like 5 on the UV scale. Cool. I still can't paint. So I'll save the scene and try and reload it maybe. Okay, so I just reset the the engine and now it seems to work. So now I can paint grass. But I do want to try something. So there's this slope limit on the brush. So I'm guessing it stops you from painting on too big of a slope. So if I go for like, I'm not sure what the values are, but if I go for something like this. No, okay. I'll just put it way down. Get a bigger brush. Oh yeah, it does stop you from painting on slopes. That's a pretty cool feature and kind of useful as well. And now if I just do a different one for the rocks, it will paint on a different height. That is kind of cool. But I only want the rocks on really big slopes, so I'll just have to play around with that, I guess. But it's quite cool, you can just get a big brush and then paint onto it. This is a pretty good way to get a really rough paint on really quickly. Just saying. Because this is very quick. And if I plop in the acids, this looks about 100 times better now. And still performs quite well, although we'll be fixing some of the issues of the performance. But yeah, I can work with this. There's obviously some issues like this, but that's fine. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure what else to do, because I'm kind of stuck. I need to think about what kind of grass I want and everything. But I want to get this video out just so you guys can see how it looks for now. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. I haven't done grass, as I'm saying. I need to figure out what kind of grass I want. And I need to plan how I'm going to place all these trees while still having them in chunks. So I can turn them off, because behind the mountains there's really no point in having trees. But, yeah, tell me what you think about this. It's pretty good, I think. We might have to do a different way of placing objects, because this one is very random. And I think they export only a multi-mesh, so I couldn't, for example, I wouldn't be able to fix this. But I don't want this. So yeah, we'll see. But hopefully you guys like it. Kind of an all-over video, but I've never done terrain in Godot, and just kind of trying to figure out how this all works. So we'll see. And in the next update, we're just going to be adding some more. Until the next update, I guess. Bye now.